Are you ready? It's me, Gruesome Greggy, two-time BYWF champion of the world, current IGN champion of the world. And if there's one question I get, fans, it's Gruesome Greggy, how do I get gold around my waist? When will you defend that IGN championship of the world? And the answer is, brother, anytime. Cage match. Table match.
Do you believe a fat man can fly?
Submission match.
Say uncle.
No.
Say Damon is my master.
Never.
Say Damon is a Greek god. Say it. Say it.
Doesn't matter, friends. You want to step up, go for the gold, just well, Media Base Mike, what do you want?
I want that belt because it's shiny and I like it, and I challenge you to a llama-based rhino match.
Well, it's a mouthful, brother, and I'll be glad to put the title on the line. But first, let me tell you about TNA Impact. In 2002, the dominance of Vince McMahon in the WWE was threatened when Jeff Jarrett and company formed Total Nonstop Action Wrestling. Since then, some of the biggest names in wrestling, folks like Sting, Christian, and Kurt Angle, have joined the Federation, and now, with the help of Midway Games, TNA is making its leap into gaming. TNA Impact packs 25 wrestlers, 7 arenas, and 9 match types for you to go at it in, but the biggest and best thing this thing's got going for it is graphics. Characters in the ring just flat out look great. People are sweaty, Sting really looks like he's Sting, the entrances are spot on, although they are kind of short. On top of that, they have a great animation system. Moves blend seamlessly together. You go from a headlock to a grapple to a submission to a throw, and I mean, there's no sense of I'm waiting to do my next move. It just happens and looks very natural. Of course, the brutal and high-flying moves you'd expect from TNA, stuff like Hurricane Ranas and Styles Clash, they're all here, and it looks good. When Midway set out to make this game, they told me they were looking for some kind of control scheme that was easy to pick up and easy to use, and they've kind of hit that here. Face buttons are your kick, punch, grab, and perform actions. Shoulder buttons block, run, and modify strong attacks. It's a simple system that allows people to jump in and have fun. So the graphics and controls are solid, but they really only distract you from some of the things that, hold Impact back from being a great game. This game's been in development for like 2.5 years, and Midway made a big point of boasting that they, captured over 2,000 moves, but they didn't put them all in the game. They said they ran out of time. What that means is that you see a lot of atomic drops, a lot of suplexes, and a lot of stomps to the groin. I mean, every wrestler shares moves, but the people in TNA Impact really feel like they're the same character a lot of times, and that, completely depletes the purpose of playing as someone different. On top of that, the taunts really aren't character specific outside of like a finisher animation, so you really never get the sense for a lot of these guys that you're playing as someone different. They all feel the same. The most obvious way to make people feel different would be to make your own wrestler and create a wrestler, but sadly that doesn't happen in Impact. Although you can create wrestlers from the main menu, you'll usually be creating them in story mode where you can have 5 slots of guys. What story mode does is cast you as suicide. You're the champion. LAX, though, they get all pissed off and run in, beat you up, leave you broken and memoryless in Mexico. So, you wake up, don't know who you are, and you get to create your character from there. You'll choose if you want to be a brawler, high flyer, or a grappler. You can put on 1 of 30 shirts. Basically, you can't sit down and create whatever you want in TNA Impact. It doesn't get any better when it comes to moves. Everything's set to default, and you have to unlock these other moves as you go through with style points. The problem is, even if you unlock everything, your 7 grapples are broken into 2 groups that then pull from 2 sets of moves. What that means, basically, is that there's 16 total moves to give your guy, and they're not that awesome, and it takes forever to unlock them. So basically, you're playing through this game with this generic character with moves you don't necessarily want. It just isn't that much fun. Beyond those creator-wrestler complaints, story mode is actually interesting. You're trying to climb to the top again, you get to hang out with Kevin Nash, they have some great voiceover work. It's, actually interesting to be a part of, with the exception that at one point you're locked into these set of tag matches, and tag matches are really bad in this game. The AI is brain dead, they won't break at pins all the time. It's just not fun. Oh, and it has to have this pulled back camera perspective the entire time. Looks very ugly. So story mode's just alright, and sadly online doesn't get much better. It's single matches only, no creator wrestlers. It's the same solid gameplay system. The matches I were doing, it seemed to run a bit slower than, your normal match, but it wasn't something that broke the system. Although I did get stuck in a run at one point, but still, if you like TNA gameplay, you'd like online. In the end, TNA isn't a bad wrestling game, it's just one that feels shallow and incomplete. At times it doesn't even feel like wrestling. Every match is no count out, chairs are just on the floor for some reason. It can be used, without fear of disqualification. Tag teams don't enter together, there are no double team moves. There aren't even championship belts in the game, even though in story they talk about them. Professional wrestling is pretty much all about gimmick matches, and TNA only has Ultimate X, which is fun, but it just really isn't enough. Impact's got a solid control scheme that can be fun, and a good base for the future, but I don't think there's enough content here that, most people will be playing this beyond an extended rental. So that's TNA Impact, everybody. It's not the world champion yet, but it's got a strong foundation, could be #1 contender in the future. And speaking of #1 contenders, Media Base Mike. Just what?
Oh, he's small. He's faster than he looks. Chobot. Chobot needs some help. Oh, God.